Heart friends of the ages, friends of freedom and keepers of the flame, most gracious ladies and gentlemen, I greet you in the light of cosmic freedom that inundates the earth in this hour and finds its way by angelic hand and bands to your own dear hearts, when the flower unfolding does invite the chalice rare to contain this floral offering of immortel and flower of sacred fire. Blessed ones, the event which brings me to this city is both ancient and recent. The ancient event, as recorded here in Akasha, is a misuse of the light, in some cases by those who have reincarnated here and tarry for the opportunity to balance that karma, and in some cases by those who are not recalled to the scene of this misuse. Beloved, there are many sincere hearts in this area and state, as you are well aware, for I count you among them most certainly. Therefore, I would intercede in a danger you know not of, which is the return of that karma, cycle for cycle, in this hour of planetary karma returning. The intercession then is invoked through the council of Lord Zadkiel's retreat and the priesthood of Melchizedek. There is a violet ray priesthood, beloved. Therefore, during this meditation, a procession of priests of the sacred fire have marched from that retreat to this area, forming by their bodies of light a Maltese cross. The significance of this thought form will become nearer and dearer to your heart as you study my courses in alchemy and learn the precipitation of light through that thought form in the threefold flame. Thus, beloved, the 4 arms signify the release into matter of a sacred fire. The members of the order of this ancient priesthood are ascended masters all. They long ago attained that victory which is yours to enter in this hour. They come from ancient temples prior to the desecration thereof on lost continents, where they themselves achieved the honor of the white fire and the entering therein. They have come then to give protection and an immense fire of transmutation, that return of karma might be mitigated or entirely consumed. This consuming and transmutation must take place in the physical through the intercession of yourselves and your heart flames, receiving the violet flame, calling it forth, and welcoming a cooperative endeavor of these 144,000 priests of the order of Melchizedek, who have placed their bodies this night in this giant Maltese cross formation. I can tell you, beloved, that this messenger had not one iota of awareness of why I called her to speak in this city and brought her here. This is indeed an unusual event, for it has not occurred that dictations have been given in evening lectures on the threefold flame and the mighty I Am presence, which you have heard. This, however, was pre-arranged, and the messenger has placed herself always on call, and therefore, in obedience, is at the point of the grid of light, where in this hour this light must descend for the protection of the people of this state. Certain activities of false gurus and false teachings that have occurred here in the ancient past, continuing to the present, have also rent the auric field, making it even a greater challenge for the ascended masters and those in embodiment to seal now that record as the place where evil dwells, and to build a mighty action of light for the holding of the balance. Thus, beloved ones, if you desire to play your part, I would counsel you to come together and to give the violet flame decrees, to perform that action scientifically according to the laws of alchemy. For those who successfully demonstrate the mastery of matter as well as spiritual forces do indeed follow the scientific principles I have taught. And as is the case in the mystery schools, beloved, we place in print that which the great law does allow. Those keepers of the flame of life may enter in, therefore, to the consciousness of the Holy Spirit and go to the etheric retreat at the place of the Grand Teton for further instruction. Sometimes this instruction is held in what is called the higher mental body or the superconscious mind, even keeping it from the outer mind and waking consciousness, lest it be divulged. Yet at inner levels the science is continuing and the path of your attainment is being fulfilled, beloved. And by initiation, it may come to pass, when you have proven yourselves responsible with the knowledge of the higher law, that you may in full waking awareness be reminded of that which you have studied under the great adepts and ascended masters at the Royal Teton Retreat. Beloved ones, we must have the physical sounding of the word. This is the purpose of the dynamic decree as the most efficient and accelerated means of forestalling those things coming upon the earth or the individual as the outplaying of karma. This science was recommended to me specifically for this era by the beloved great divine director, who is a magnificent being of light, to whom I trust you will offer your praise in song this night, for he is our sponsor in this endeavor, whereby we desire to place electrodes around the nation and the North American continent for the turning of the tide of those predictions that have been made by psychics and others who have clearly seen that which could come upon the earth, but have not been so far-sighted in their seeing as to see the day star from on high and the mighty I Am presence as able to consume by the Holy Ghost and by the concerted effort of the few and then the many in the dynamics of the violet flame decrees. Beloved ones, the physical sound that is made by physically embodied souls impinges upon physical matter. This matter is given to you. We cannot interfere in physical matter unless you allow us to direct the light through your body temples and through the physical organs corresponding to the chakras. Let thy body be full of light. Let the disciplines physical and of diet be known, for that body which is transparent and translucent, taking in only pure substances for the need of the hour, which is service and to sustain balance of mind, is that body which is most useful to us as a vessel. The word that is manifest here below must be sounded through embodied individuals. It is the law, beloved. We have played our parts on the stage of life. We have been in physical embodiment, and the price we have paid for absorbing the light has been the same as always. It has been the persecution of ourselves, not necessarily intended by individuals, but certainly coming through them in their rancor, resistance, and reaction to that light that does create in them a certain action which they find intolerable because they are not committed to the light or to service or to their ascension. Beloved, it has ever been thus, but the great joy of this age is that numberless numbers saints robed in white do appear, and on earth now the many who keep the flame of life are coming together, and the circles of protection and the ring of fire is being formed, and the solar ring is seen in the sky, and those who are among the embodied disciples of the ascended masters are actually experiencing the parting of veils, so that they do see and hear our presence from time to time, and this is as God intended it. Beloved ones, be not too desirous or too ambitious for the spiritual encounter with the Master, but rather realize that your internalization of the Word and the light places the Master where you are, one undivided manifestation of God. Thus, beloved, it is better to increase the light than to seek after a sign or a message or an experience of some form of psychic channeling that is never guaranteed to be purely from the octaves of light and can take from you a delicate action of the aura that you are building with the higher light. The sign then which is lawful is the sign of Christ in your heart. And thus a wicked generation, a wicked and an adulterous generation, seeketh after a sign. But there is no sign that shall be given, save the sign of the prophet Jonah. 2 signs given by Jonah are noteworthy. The sign of being in the belly of the whale 3 days, signifying that everyone who does become the mouthpiece of God must go through the proving in the heart and womb of matter of these alchemical experiments which I come bearing to you. The highest alchemy, beloved, is the precipitation of the Word incarnate as Christ in you, known by Paul as the hope of glory. And I say it is the magnet of glory. It is the white stone that is a magnet drawing unto itself a fire that does enfold itself and you as well, until you come to know yourself as a living flame of life. Beloved hearts, this is the sign of the working out of the problem of being in the tomb of matter. And the second sign is that which I bring to you. Jonah went to Nineveh, and he warned the people that unless they would repent from their squandering of the life force in the pleasure cult, calamity would ensue. Much to his disappointment, the people repented, They hearkened unto the voice of God through him, and the city was spared. And thus Jonah complained to the Lord, they will consider me a false prophet because the calamity did not come upon the city. Thus God can spare the city, even as it can pass the resurrection flame through the withered gourd to which the prophet may become attached. Beloved ones, understand the meaning of this, that the prophecy that is written in Revelation, in the Old and New Testament, that is written in the very sands and in the ethers, which may be perceived, is not final. This is my cry to the age. You are mediators between mankind in a state of ignorance and rejection to the truth of the teachings of Christ we bear, and the oncoming karma returning. You as anointed ones, by choosing this calling and election, may form a body of light that does indeed become the manifestation of the all-consuming flame of God. And that karma can be transmuted, beloved. And remember, the requirements are few. 10 righteous men could save an entire city by their righteousness, proving that the power of God in manifestation is far greater than millions engaged in the blasphemy of the anti-light and the desecration of the innocence of the child. The power of God in you is greater than all of the many things you see on a grand scale appearing. They appear to surround the earth, beloved, and to loom large and heavy and powerful. It is the appearance that must be slain by the sword, which is the sacred word of the alchemist. For it is the appearance of evil that takes on power in the mind of the beholder, and when the beholder is the potential alchemist, he endows the unreal with the power of permanence, and thus it has taken place. Who will dare to challenge the destroyers in the earth, knowing they are but specters in the night and have no power except that which the anointed ones and the people have given to them by their attention, by their fear, by their adulation, by their cursings? Whatever the attention, beloved, it does give power to the enemies of mankind. Withdraw the attention and see how their systems crumble, and how the new age and the golden age shall appear right within you as the golden man of the heart steps through the veil in you, and you will behold yourself in the likeness of Christ, and therefore you shall see him as he is, and that shall be the reality of the second coming for you, one by one, for it is an initiatic event. I tell you, the second coming of Christ is the appearance of the Lord in your temple. Expect it, live for it, and know that this light cannot be hid, and every eye shall see him, one by one by one. And this is the law of the one, for ye are one mystical body in this room, and the currents of God flow through you, and the angels of the members of the priesthood are tending you, that you might absorb this light to your benefit and your healing. Now, beloved, I ask you to remember that the dispensation that we bring depends on your participation. God will not take from you the responsibility of present Christhood and of cooperation with the ascended hosts. Those in embodiment must take accountability for planet Earth as their alchemical experiment. There is no division in the ecosystem, as you call it. There is no division in the bodies of the earth. Your thought, mind you, impresses itself on every grain of sand. No wonder the earth is burdened. An unconscious use of alchemy has put the planet out of kilter, to use an expression, with the cosmic blueprint. You cannot escape your destiny. I bring to you words you will hear when you pass from the screen of life, as you face the sponsors and guardians who have sent you forth and paid the price to give you the opportunity which you now have. If you think that some spot upon the earth will not respond to your call, or that you are not responsible to assist in alleviating the darkness there, then you have not understood that the whole earth is the responsibility of every light bearer. Ask yourself this question: can you depart the earth at will? Can you somehow put the entire problem and challenge of the age behind you? It is not physically possible, but beloved, is it morally possible or spiritually possible for you to ignore the voice of God in your heart that is telling you that you can indeed be a liberator of life, beginning first of all with a single cell in your little finger? Liberate the cell from the tyranny of time and space. I tell you, beloved, I once began the path of adeptship. You can begin. He who is able to drown conscience in noise and preoccupation, and not transfer his heart fire to uplift a soul who suffers somewhere, has truly never known that this universe is his native home, has truly not touched the hem of Christ's garment, and ought not to consider himself on the path of spirituality. It is the sensitivity to life, all sentient life, beloved, that calls you to cast yourself upon the rock of the universal Christ, that the adamant hardness of rebellion of the human might be broken. Cast yourself upon this rock, and Christ will reform you in his image. If this initiation is not called for and welcomed by you voluntarily, then, beloved, the handwriting is on the wall, even in this place. So do the mountains fall, and is the earth removed, and the elements melt with a fervent heat, and the great law acting through nature will force many to be broken. Thus, the wise enter voluntarily the initiatic spiral of the age of Aquarius, and trust that God and the mighty archangels will not lead you where others have not gone and passed through to the victory. We, the ascended masters, stand before you as proof that there is a path that leads to immortal life, the ascended state, and the fullness of God manifest. Beloved, I would conclude my address to you by the transfer of light that you are ready, willing, and able to receive, with the provision of responsibility that you use that light to invoke the violet flame daily for this cause. Some of you do not know that for the gifts I have given in Europe, in other ages, and in this century, which have been misused by some among mankind, I incurred a planetary karma, and therefore the cosmic councils did not allow me to give any more of my causal body or my life for a considerable and long period of time. My students throughout the world have invoked the violet flame for decades, and more recently, specifically for the transmutation of the karma I made through the sponsorship of individuals who betrayed me and my gift. Beloved, this placing of this Maltese cross here and the effort of these priests has come because I, Saint Germain, went to the court of the sacred fire and pleaded for the cause of this planet and gave once again a portion of my life and causal body, as you might say, as collateral for this event. If then the response is given, I can assure you it can be repeated again and again until all the earth and the cities and the chakras thereof are sealed by the Maltese cross formation of the priesthood of Melchizedek. Beloved ones, I therefore am the intercessor and sponsor of this action. You then at your level of service become also intercessors and sponsors. This is therefore a new and very first opportunity that is granted to me to once again attempt to forestall world cataclysm. I trust you will understand sometime, somewhere, what it does take for an ascended master to receive from the great hierarchies of the sun dispensations for a planet and her evolution. I think it is evident to you, beloved, that many upon earth would have no understanding or ability to meet this situation. I believe with all my heart that those of you who know me now, who have known me before and forever, newly come to this teaching or long enduring its presence in your heart, will respond. My faith in you is abundant because it is truly the faith in God in you. May your souls rise from the seat of the soul chakra and join your Christ self in your heart, thereby being one with that light, also being the recipient of my trust. I counsel you then, trust no man, but trust the manifestation of God in every man, and you will not be disappointed. I trust you are not disappointed in me this night, for I am not disappointed in you. I bid you adieu and return to the silence that I might transfer this arc of light.